August 5th, 2022. Just a prime example of how criminal the Canadian government has gotten. And apparently not a single judge, not a single cop, or anyone on either political side of the fence will do anything about it. Canadian ban on importing handguns will kick in this month, says Minister. The federal government plans to fast-track a ban on the import of handguns into the country without the approval of Parliament, using a regulatory measure that comes into effect in 2 weeks. Without the approval of Parliament. That's illegal. That is illegal. Public Safety Minister Marco Mendicino announced Friday. The change will last until a permanent freeze is passed in Parliament and comes into force. Oh, so they're literally holding hostage the import of handguns with no laws passed until they can finally pass a law. The government tabled gun control legislation in May that includes a national freeze on the importation, purchase, sale, and transfer of handguns in Canada. That law did not pass before Parliament took its summer break, and is set to be debated again when MPs return to Ottawa in the fall, because our politicians take the summers off. So yeah, the law did not pass, so therefore they're putting the freeze on now of the importation, which is illegal until the law finally passes, until they pay off enough politicians to pass the law. In the meantime, Foreign Affairs Minister Mélanie Joly said she has the authority to ban any import or export permit in Canada. No, she does not. She has no authority, because anything has to go through Parliament. Wide open criminal activity. Until now, she said there was no important permit system required for owners and businesses to buy handguns elsewhere in the world and bring them into Canada. Working with Marco, we came up with this idea of creating this new system of requiring permits, Joly said, but meanwhile, we will deny any permits. Oh, so you're required to have a permit now, but they're going to deny all permits. That's a good system. When the Prime Minister first announced the proposal legislation in the spring, Canada saw an uptick in gun sales, Joly said, and this temporary ban will prevent stores from stocking up on guns while the bill makes its way through the House of Commons and the Senate. So again, more criminal activity. They cannot put a freeze just because there's an uptick on sales. There's not even crime. There's not even school shootings happening. There's no reason to be banning handguns just because there's more sales, because the liberals are talking about banning handguns. This is criminal. What is the government so scared of? Why don't they want us having guns? And I don't even own a handgun, so this truly doesn't affect me. But still, it's the point of them taking all the freedoms. Why are they so scared of civilians, law-abiding civilians, having firearms? Is it because of Agenda 2030 that's coming down the pipeline? The 90% depop that they're going to force onto us? Government trade data shows Canada imported 26.4 million worth of pistols and revolvers between January and June, a 52% increase compared to the same period last year. Or maybe because everyone was locked down last year and no one could go anywhere or buy handguns because everything was locked down. The temporary ban will prevent businesses from importing handguns into Canada, with a few exceptions that mirror those in the legislative tabled in May. Temporary ban until they make it a permanent ban. And that makes a lot of sense. Given that nearly all our handguns are imported, this means that we're bringing our national handgun freeze even sooner, breaking the law even sooner. From that moment forward, the number of handguns in Canada will only go down, and Mendicino and Joly announced the change. And here's the funny thing. Well, I guess it's not funny, it's just pathetic. But Mendicino and Joly announced the change outside a Catholic cemetery school in the Toronto suburb of Etobicoke, as children kicked soccer balls around the field behind them. I'm going to read that again because people are interrupting me. Mendicino and Joly announced the change outside of a Catholic elementary school in the Toronto suburb of Etiskoke, as children kick soccer balls around in the behind them in the field. So they're literally playing off the heartstrings of people who probably have sympathy for the parents, or even the parents themselves that have lost children in the school shootings that are all happening in the States. We don't even have shootings here in Canada, mass shootings. We have like one every 10 years. Majority of the crime is with knives, stabbings, and like random objects like hammers and axes. So much propaganda, so much criminal activity. Well, here we go. Paula Servant, a group that represents survivors and families of victims of gun violence, applauded the government's approach to freezing imports into statement released Friday. So of course they got paid people there, and probably some real people, to pull on the heartstrings of people, of victims who were unfortunately killed with a firearm. But again, that's not the firearm's fault. That's the criminal who illegally got the firearm, because you rarely ever see law-abiding citizens kill people with their guns, unless they're defending themselves. And here, the conservative public safety critic Rakul Dancho says the move targets law-abiding citizens and business owners rather than illegal and smuggled guns. Obviously, because law-abiding citizens don't break the law, for one, and someone who goes through... It's already hard enough to get a handgun in Canada, so anyone who actually goes through all the process is not going to commit crimes. Or if they do, it's a mental illness. So they're going to take the guns and they want to poke your kids with a deadly shot. And we just keep letting them get away with it.